Okay, so good morning everyone. So my name is Ariel Lampiada and my report is about dependability and security assurance. So when we say dependability and security assurance, it is the classical definition of dependability encompasses the attributes of the reliability, availability, safety, integrity, and of course the maintainability. Well, the classical definition of security encompasses the attributes of confidentiality and integrity and non-repudiation and availability. So for this report, we are going to tackle different agendas or different types of agendas. We have the introduction to dependability and security assurance, testing and validating dependability and security measure, compliance with security standards and regulation, and of course the conclusion and the Q&A or question and answer. So first is about introduction to dependability and security assurance, which is we also know the dependability is the ability of the system to deliver reliable and consistent services. Then yung security assurance naman, it's about measure to ensure a system protects data and resources from threats or from data losses. So we have a different key attributes in defendability and security assurance. First is the reliability, which is about the correct functioning over time or yung accurate functions or data from the system, and the availability, which is about readiness for use or if the user need to gather or retrieve data. The system must give the accurate information or data that needed. Then next is the safety, which is avoiding the catastrophic failures or yung mga errors or data losses like in the databases. Then next key attributes is about confidentiality, which is about protecting or protection against the unauthorized access. We're going to use the different types of level of access to make sure that the data is confidential or have integrity, which is papasok nga yung isa ating key attributes, the integrity, which is about the prevention of unauthorized or unauthorized modification from different user or from non-user of the system. Then next natin is about the testing and validating dependability and security measures. So we have five, which is ayan. First natin is about define objectives, which is first thing that we need to do is identify the system requirements for defendability and security. After that, we need to determine the critical components of the failure scenario to identify if there's something need to adjust or we need to evaluate first before we proceed, or we need to define the objectives of our project to make sure that our output will be aligned with the standards and of course into the system standards. Then next testing is about testing strategies, which is we have a different testing strategies that we're going to use or to apply to make sure that the system is proper and easy to use. First is we have unit testing. So the unit testing is basically used to verifying individual components or each component of the system to make sure that it is integrated well to each other or to another. And next is the integration testing, which is yun nga, it is about ensuring the modules work together. So we already know that when we're creating a system, we're going to use the different technologies and different API or application programming interface. So we need to test the integration to make sure that the system is functioning well overall. And next is the stress testing, which is ginagamit naman siya or it is used to evaluating the system under extreme condition. Example is the system will be test with mass uses datas or mass users to test the capacity or the stress testing or the traffic in network. Then next is the penetration testing, which is simulating cyber attacks to find vulnerability, which is we can use the white hat hacker to test the system security if it's the security is high or low. Then next is the validation technique, which is we have three. We have static analysis, we have dynamic analysis, and simulation. For static analysis, we can review the code without execution. We're just reviewing the code to make sure it is work proper. And next is about dynamic analysis, which is about observing system behavior during execution, or we we can say that it's about monitoring if the system is functioning well and all the features or module is all goods or something wrong. Then next is the simulation, which is here we're going to test using the virtual environment, or we're going to test it in actual way. And the next one is about documentation and reporting, which is about log test result and the deviations or the results or documents about the result in validating techniques. And next is provide actionable insight for improvement. So if something happen in terms of different types of testing and analysis, so it needs to improve to make sure that the system is proper work proper before it implement. Then next natin is we have understanding compliance with security standard and regulation. So we have a key standards and framework here, which is ISO and IEC 2701, which is about Information Security Management System or ISMS. We can use these standards to make sure that the system is properly aligned with the security standards and regulation. And for the framework, we have an ISP cybersecurity framework, which is about guidelines for identifying and managing cyber risk. And we have the GDPR or General Data Protection Regulation for data privacy. And we have HIPAA or Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act for healthcare data security. So we can use this to make sure that our system is uh, will have security standards and regulations. Then we have here the step to ensure the compliance. First is, of course, we have to identify the applicable regulation, which is assess natin yung different standards which is will be fit or suitable for our system or yung organization or industry that we're going to use this. And next is the implementation controls, which is it's about adapt technical, administrative, and physical control to meet requirements. And of course, the continuous monitoring, regular audits and reviews to maintain and compliance and to make sure that there's no problem. And the last one is about the training and awareness, which is about educate employees about compliance and application to make sure that the system is properly working and there's no problem. Because we already know that sometimes it is not about the system, it is about the users or the user problems. Then uh, next is the conclusion, which is when we say dependability, it is about ensuring the consistent and reliable operation. And when we say security assurance, it's about protecting or about protect system from internal and external threats like hacking or different types of injections. We can say it's about data integrity and security then. And It is about rigorous testing and validating, enhancing system robustness and compliance with standards, ensure legal and technical alignment, and of course, is about mm, for long run. And that's all for this report.